What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Musa Gaming here, and today, as you guys might be able to tell from the look of the Kingsland, we have won this KvK along with our allies from Fire Camp. Here, you guys can see, here at the new and latest KvK technology applied version of the Tides of War KvK. So in today's video, we're going to talk about every single thing that happened within this KvK, as well as each kingdom statistic, as well as our own kingdom 2939's statistics, as well as my own progression that I made within this account, within this KvK, because I must tell you, in this KvK, I think I have probably made the most amount of progression for my account, especially for my main main cavalry rally. So stick around as I'll be taking a look at all of those aspects that I just talked about in this single video. Now, first, let's just talk about the KvK though. So, as you guys might be able to see, we have won this Kingsland, but this KvK did not start out pretty well for us. And when we first started out the KvK, and this KvK is different from the last KvK that we fought, which was, I think, Heroic Anthem, where we had only one other campmate, but we now have four other campmates. So each camp had 5 different kingdoms, 5 different B-seed kingdoms within the camp. So it was very, very interesting. And when we first started off the KvK, and then we had pass 4 opening, we actually won against our enemy main enemy Win Camp, in this pass 4 opening in Zone 5. And when we started out, we were like, okay, we have all the right fortresses actually built out. We're doing good. Fine, let's just go ahead and win this zone. But unfortunately, during our downtime, specifically during our 2939's downtime, because I think 2939 had the most amount of field fighters. You guys will be able to tell from the statistics you will see later down. But yeah, 2939's downtime, we were unfortunately unable to actually hold the hold the zone 5, and then when it was our uptime, we will all the way win in this zone, and then once our downtime comes, and then we'll go ahead and lose this zone right here. And I think also one of our other allies, 1539, I believe. Where's TRN's kingdom again? Sorry. 15. Yeah, TRN. So one of our allies, 1538. Yeah, 1539. What am I thinking? I'm getting mixed up with my own kingdom. Okay, so 1538 also had a downtime, same downtime. Most of our warriors are actually located physically in Asia. And also, I think 1538 also is Korean, which is also located in Asia. And then we had like overlapping downtime. We had huge downtime when it was like early morning for Asia, which is all understandable. But then again, also at the same time, that's why we lost this zone. During our downtime, we didn't really have that many people. Aside from myself, I mean, I'm here in the United States, and we have different kind of like time zones. So only during our overlapping kind of uptime, we actually had this zone control. So we eventually lost this. But then again, our allies here at Fire Camp did win their zone 5. And then luckily, that allowed us our passes to this zone 5 that we were neighboring with the Fire Camp. So we were able to actually get the buffs that we needed for us to actually compete well against Win Camp here. Now, as the Pass 5 opened, we actually controlled this zone as it will be for all of the camps here. So they had their corresponding zone controls. And then when the Pass 7 opened, we were actually competing for this pass right here. You guys might have seen my other video where we actually try to break into the pass, but one of the really crazy garrison that the 3199 had, called Rule Breaker. And he did actually share with me his equipment afterwards, so you guys can see that he has awesome equipment for infantry, and also at the same time, fully legendary inscribed pincer, which was really hard to break when he was using Gorgotoku, especially because although I also have full equipment for cavalry as well as the full Delta formation for cavalry, unfortunately right now Attila Subutai is not a match for Gorgotoku. We tried everything that we could throw at him, and we were unable to break into this pass for, I think, the first 2.5 days of us trying to rally this. And then on the third day, we actually finally broke in with our archer rally, just spamming through the pass, and then we got some kill points there. But then again, we weren't able to actually break through. But we had a better field on the spot, so we didn't get too much invasions into our territories as well, even during our town downtime. On the flip side of things, Fire Camp was able to break through a little bit more, and then they have better fielders against their Win Camp in their past 7, so they were able to actually gain more kill points, which I think where the gap between kill points between Fire Camp and us got a lot bigger during that time. And then when the King's End opened, Fire Camp won against Earth Camp here. We were winning against we were winning against the Win Camp because it was our uptime during our Kingsland, and then we kind of lost some grounds as I had to go take care of some of my birthday related family event thing, and long story short, I was touching my phone when when it was my birthday kind of party happening at my brother's place, and then they were like, "What are you doing, dude? Like." It's your birthday. And I was like, okay, fine, fair point. So I wasn't able to do anything, although I was the main rally lead for our camp. And yeah, luckily we didn't lose too much ground, and then Fire dominated the Earth. They helped us out, and then our uptime came back, and then we just pushed them all the way. And then that's when Win Camp has finally given up, as of yesterday. And it turns out that DKP for Fire was a lot better than us, so we will be taking the Ziggurat for the first capture in 9 hours ish, so that we can get the first occupation rewards, as well as I think there might be something that we can get from the conquest rewards. I don't know, honestly, but then again, yeah. We'll take the first Ziggurat, but then again, we will not hold on to it for our star at the end of the day, so that Fire will actually keep their stars. So congratulations to Win Camp, all the members of Win Camp, as well as the Fire Camp, and then especially congratulations to Fire Camp for holding on to this, holding on to win Earth Camp pretty well as helping us during our Kingsland, and you guys deserve the star. Congratulations for winning this KvK. Now, with that said, let's just go ahead and move on to our PowerPoint presentation that I have prepared for you to kind of show my progress within this KvK, because there was a lot of progress that I made within this KvK. So the first things first, basic stuff. I have lost 8 million power, and I have gained about 725 million kill points. And for those of you who actually follow me, I think I had about 200 days to 300 days to start off this KvK, and I have gained about 725 million kill points. So pretty efficient, I would say, as I am on most of the KvKs with speed ups. I gotta admit, I didn't chain barbs as much as I should have. You guys, yeah. I was busy playing 2 different accounts, so it is what it is. That's what was going on, and yeah. 2 different accounts, by the way, means that I was on my restart every now and then. So yeah, that's what I mean. And Arthur, I didn't really make too much progress. There is actually no progress that I can make on my Arthur for equipment. As you guys can see, I have full Iconic 5, full Talented Gear. But in terms of armaments, I actually made quite some progress, because I went from Arch to Delta. And you guys can see that I had 2 legendary inscription on my legendary arch formation, as well as Iron Wall on the scroll. And then for instrument, I had even yield. I did not actually have instrument special inscription, which I was able to get in live stream actually, and I have posted a couple videos that highlighted those live stream footage of me getting the special inscription for instrument slot. And for scroll, I always had legendary inscriptions inscribable there, but then again, I just didn't really want to use it for Arch because Arch Destructive is not really the best thing that you can use. Instead, I actually use Pulverize as well as the attack War Cry from this while I was getting special inscription. Right now, you guys are seeing the very early days of me recording this. So yeah, this was actually the stage number 1, and then I actually moved on to double inscription into the scroll as well as special inscription on the what's this called, instrument, and then I finally swapped to Delta I think last week before Achilles was announced. And I'm actually glad that I made this change as we are looking to get Achilles in our hands right around the corner. And this actually came with a couple pretty good improvement in terms of stats too. You guys can see that I did gain 0.2% attack, 0.4% defense, which actually almost puts me at max possible defense. 14% is the maximum stats that you can get. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool. And I did lose 6% health, but then again, in return, I gained about 3.9% damage, all damage, which is around 7% health that you can actually get. Little more than that as far as what I know. But just to give you a simple math version of it, yeah, I gained about a little bit more than 1% of health is what you can actually get from this. So pretty big improvement, I'll say, especially given the fact that I have lost a lot of counter swarm ability as I moved away from Arch and then moved into Delta, right? I don't have that much normal damage boost from this, so having all damage does help kind of do more damage against people who are swarming you as a Delta user. So I think that was a big perk of moving into all damage. I am looking to make some improvements overall for the missing health. I think I'm missing 0.5% health, so I'm trying to fix that. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what I'm doing. It is what it is. As well as potentially moving into a little bit more all damage for other slots. I'll have to see if I can arrange that happen, but we'll see. And maybe once I'm done with rerolling the health, I'll go ahead and move on to fill up all the attack that I'm missing with 12.4%, so that I can show you a better improvement on the Delta formation that I have for my Arthur as well as Attila Subotai. Now, in terms of Huo also actually saw some improvements. I actually iconic forward Huo's helmet, which will give me extra, I believe, 1.5% of field damage, which is actually really good. As well as I actually just today iconic to the chest piece, which will actually give me extra, I think, 1.5% health ignored. Once created, I think that might be a little bigger, but that's about the amount that I'm actually getting the bonus of from Ho. And I changed nothing from the wedge formation that I had. I was too focused on re-rolling the Arthur stuff, so it is what it is. That's what I have. Let's go ahead and move on to our Chin. Chin, in terms of the equipment, I didn't have that much improvement, but the wedge formation did make some major improvements, I would say. You guys can see that I have added a little bit. I have added one more inscription, brutal, which actually added 3.5% extra attack, which in net will give me 3.2% extra attack, 0.8% extra defense, and then 1.9% extra health. In exchange for 1.3% all damage that I actually had from the previous set, which I think in a nutshell is a big win. So I'm pretty happy with the changes. Also at the same time, I finally got rid of the epic one that I was using for Chen Shi Huang, which was amazing epic armament, by the way. It had, I think, like all damage as well as inscription that would actually add a little bit more health. But yeah, now I'm finally away from it. And also at the same time, you guys can see that although I have 8.4% health, I actually have extra 7% health from Fit and Hardy together, which is kind of nuts. So, yeah, I have a lot of stats for my Qin Shi Huang. I'm pretty happy with what I have, so it is what it is. Good improvements, I would say, over the course of last KvK. Baichi also seen some crazy improvements throughout the last KvK as well. You guys can see that I went from blue critted shield to critted KvK shield, a KvK weapon, which is actually a big jump in power. And I got lucky with the critted with the hammer, and luckily I was able to gain a lot more stats on Baichi. Unfortunately, I haven't seen Baichi perform that well in this KvK, just because I think the march speed was kind of missing compared to other marches that I had. So I did give him the infantry march speed accessory for in compensation for that to try to use him better. But unfortunately, my Baichi was not the best performing march in this KvK. But in terms of in terms of its competitiveness for the Season of Conquest users, I think this is now pretty good set that I can use and showcase to other people that I do have an infantry march at the end of the day. And there's nothing that I actually changed about his armaments. I might eventually change his arch formation into Delta once I'm done with my cavalry set migration, just because I think potentially with the new release of Achilles and Hector on top of the new cavalry commander release coming up in either November or December, that will give me another a combo fielder as well as garrison user. I might actually have to migrate that set that I have on Ho Chu Bing to Delta eventually. So when that does happen, then I'll have to go ahead and consider using the conversion zone. So I'm keeping Bai Chu currently at Arch formation, and he'll have to suffer a little bit more for that as well. So yeah, that's all the account progression that I made within my account. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the stats for the kingdoms overall. Let me just go ahead and no inspect. But yeah, you guys can see that clearly Fire was the winner of this KvK, followed up by ourselves, which with 73 billion points, and then followed up by Earth, which had 72 billion points, and then Wind, which had 67 billion points. I would say it was a pretty balanced KvK. I mean, Wind won against us, and then Earth won against Fire in the Zone 5, and then throughout the KvK, I think we were suffering from the fact that they had a really good pincer user like Rule Breaker. So yeah, we were suffering from that. Fire was able to push out a little more, so they won the star, and then we kind of won the KvK, but then again, not really the star. So that's the whole story of it. If we go into each and every kingdom's data, you guys can see that 2939, I think, was the leader in terms of the points that we got within this whole KvK until Kingsland. And I think some of the Kingsland fights, Fire did better. Well, 2261 did better. So unfortunately, we were pushed out from the first place in terms of the points as a kingdom within this KvK map. We do have the most amount of kill points, but I think we didn't have as many deaths. So unfortunately, in this statistics size and how they calculate the DKP, Fire's number one kingdom was able to actually beat us. So we're number two kingdom in terms of 2939. But as a camp as a whole, I think we did pretty well. 3497 did a really good job. 17 billion power, 17 billion points. 1538 did an awesome job with 12 billion points, especially with their a lot of deaths. They were not afraid to swarm. They were not afraid to reinforce. They had a lot of deaths, and it was okay. And it worked out for us at the end because we had really good, our side, 2939 had a lot of good rally or garrison leads. and then 1538 was able to swarm, follow up, support that, as well as reinforcement. So we did work out pretty well. 2789 also with 9.5 billion points, as well as 2987 with 9 billion points. So everyone overall, I think our camp, I would like to give a big shout out to our camp for doing an awesome job this KvK. And also at the same time, Fire Camp, great job. You guys had a lot more balance, like more like well distributed points. It looks like. I really haven't had too much chance to interact with Fire or Earth, so because it was not really our war front, but I think they were fighting a lot more fiercely up in North. So I'm glad that they were able to kind of push out their enemy in Earth, so that we could actually win this KvK as well. And then going into WinCam, which was our main opponent, I think 2158 did a lot better in terms of their field fighting with 32 billion kill points, and then 3199 actually had a lot of good garrisons and rallies, I believe. So that's why they are second place, but I think I remember 3199 a little bit more than 2158 because of the fact that I've seen their garrison a little more as a rally lead. But then again, they also did an awesome job. They won against us in past 5, zone 5 at the end of the day. So yeah, great job for Win as well. And Earth, I don't really know what happened with Earth. I haven't interacted with any of them, but congratulations for doing an awesome job, for being third place in terms of kill points, DKP, despite the fact that you guys were actually losing. So good job in terms of overall stuff that you guys did. And in terms of players ranking, you guys can see that some of the top players that actually perform really well within this KvK. Number one guy, Trada ROK, had 5.8 billion kill points gained within this KvK while losing 36 million power. This is absolutely insane. He himself got himself 3 billion points with 168% trade. WinChem, Creighton, and Min. I think I remember this guy. This guy was really strong. I think he lost only 2 million power, but gained 4.5 billion kill points. Awesome job for him with 158% trade ratio and all that stuff. And then a lot of our members were also in here too. Alex Chambo did really awesome job for kill points and DKP, as well as Dark Wolf, which had a really high trade ratio, which is very interesting. 197% is kind of crazy. And then Rule Breaker was the guy that I was talking about that had a crazy garrison with Gorgohera. And yeah, that's the guy that we couldn't break in at the end of the day. 138% because he was losing the KvK, I think, but he was doing an awesome job anyway. And then I see that there's a lot of people here. Batman Pololo, and then Nemo Ace. I think this is the guy that I rallied and tried to zero, but I wasn't able to because he bubbled. But we did actually give him a big rally. You guys can see that he lost 11 million kill points, 11 million power. Part of that is actually me rallying his city, so and we were able to have some fun with him. And then our king here, Nguyen, S2, with a lot of kill points, 2.2 billion kill points, and 1.16 billion points overall. We see NHC, which is part of my group, here at 2939. He's actually one of the R4s that actually represents our group, the little Vietnamese crew called AMZ. That I'm not Vietnamese, but you know, I actually was with them from the beginning. So yeah, we have fun. We play art together. That's actually where we actually kind of bond together a little more than other people. But yeah, he has gained a lot of KPs as well as DKP points. If I want to go and look for myself though, Meta Troll. you guys can see that I did lose a million power, and then I gained about 725 million kill points. In terms of points, I'm not too well. Trades 147.1%. Most of the positive ones were from Arthur. Most of the negative ones were from non-Arthur or Marches. So that's unfortunate, but that's basically what happened. I had 1.3 million deaths. Most of my kill points were gained from T5 kills, so that's not that bad at all. And then some 23 million healed. So yeah, that's my stats right here, as well as all my farms here are trying to gain power so that I can actually use them as battle farms with T4s and all that stuff. And yeah, that's basically where I have myself at for this KvK. Taking a look at my own statistics as well as each and every camp that we have. Again, congratulations to 2261, 3350, 1617, 2978, as well as 2879 from the fire camp for winning this KvK and winning the star, as well as our water camp members 2939, 3497, 1538, 2789, as well as 2987 for winning the KvK along with fire camp. You guys did an awesome job. I'm proud particularly of 2939 for performing really well in terms of points that we actually gained. I think we fought the best in the field among all KvK, throughout all KvK as a kingdom. But unfortunately, we didn't perform as well as we did. The 2261 did. So unfortunately, we were a little behind on points, especially on the dead department. I think we did gain the most amount of kill points. So we did really well in terms of trades. But yeah, we didn't die as much. So anyways, great job overall, everyone. Again, particularly proud about 2939's performance for this KvK. So kind of good to see that happen at the end of the day. All right, I hope you guys actually enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, please go ahead and drop me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.